They say the world stops when a true original leaves the stage. For Tim Curry, the curtain's final descent has sent a shiver through the spine of culture itself. News of his passing did not just ripple, it thundered. Social media feeds overflowed. Fans and fellow artists alike paused, stunned, hearts heavy. In a year already marked by the so-called rule of threes and celebrity deaths, Curry's departure marked not just an end, but a singular, seismic event. Why did Tim Curry's death hit so hard, cutting through the static of celebrity news? There's an unspoken magnetic pull to his legacy, a charisma that can't be bottled, explained, or imitated. Is it the wild grin behind the lipstick smile, or the velvet growl of his voice? Or maybe, just maybe, it's something deeper, something we can't quite define. This open question, like Curry himself, lingers in the air. As tributes pour in from every corner, Broadway, Hollywood, and the hidden pockets of midnight movie houses, the world is left searching for words. Curry was more than an actor. He was an event, a sensation, a living question mark. His loss is not just the closing of a life, but the closing of an era. Yet, as we begin to remember him, we must ask, what was it that made Tim Curry shine so fiercely, for so long, in roles that could have been ridiculous, but became legendary instead? The answer lies in his career, his choices, and in the hearts of those he touched. Tim Curry's charisma seemed to flicker between light and dark, drawing audiences into his orbit for nearly 5 decades. He was never just a star, he was a storm. Even in his earliest roles, directors and co-stars sensed the electric weirdness humming beneath the surface. Tim walks into a room, and suddenly everything feels a little more dangerous, recalls Susan Sarandon, who worked with him on the Rocky Horror Picture Show. He made the air crackle. But what was this strange appeal? Curry's fame wasn't built on pretty boy looks or crowd-pleasing normalcy. Instead, he seemed to embrace every part of himself that was odd, theatrical, or out of step. His performances were a dare. Come along if you're brave enough. His eyes, capable of menace or mischief, invited you to take a risk and join him on the edge of the unknown. There are stars who burn bright for a moment, and then there's Curry, whose heat came not from the spotlight, but from a kind of creative combustion. He played villains and vamps, misfits and madmen, never blinking, never apologizing. The question remains, how did he turn the bizarre into the beloved? How did he make outsiders feel seen, while still captivating the mainstream? His charisma wasn't safe or gentle. It was subversive, a wink and a threat, a song and a snarl. That's what made him unforgettable, and what makes his passing so strangely personal for so many. To call Tim Curry versatile is like saying the ocean is wet. He was a chameleon with teeth, able to transform completely for every role. But 3 iconic characters will forever define his legacy: Dr. Frankenfurter in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, Pennywise the Clown in the original It, and Wadsworth the Butler in Clue. Frankenfurter was Curry's explosive introduction to international stardom. He strutted, sang, and seduced his way through a part that could have been pure camp. Except Curry lent it hunger, pain, and joy. "Don't dream it, be it," he sang, and millions believed. His performance made outcasts feel at home, and made everyone else want to join the party. In It, Curry's Pennywise haunted an entire generation. Clowns had always been a little creepy, but Curry turned them into pure nightmare fuel. His voice, playful, then monstrous, echoed in the dreams of children and adults alike. "I wanted him to be alluring, even as he was terrifying," Curry once said. "You have to want to follow the monster into the dark." And then there's Wadsworth, the frantic, hilarious butler of Clue. Here, Curry's command of comedy reached its height. He darted through the mansion with wild energy, making the absurd plot work through sheer force of will. Fans still quote his lines decades later, proof of Curry's unique comedic timing and charm. While many know him from film, Tim Curry's roots dug deep into the stage. He was a creature of live performance, really feeding off the gasps and laughter of a crowd. After Rocky Horror, he made Broadway his playground. Roles in Amadeus, Spamalot, and The Pirates of Penzance earned him Tony nominations and standing ovations. "He was unpredictable," said director Mike Nichols. Each night you wondered, what will he do next? Cult cinema became Curry's natural habitat. Midnight screenings of Rocky Horror became rituals, with fans dressing up and singing along. He welcomed them all, never shying from the cult label. On television, he lent his voice to dozens of shows, from the Wild Thornberrys to Star Wars cartoons, relishing every accent, every villain, every chance to disappear and reappear. Curry's influence didn't stop at the footlights. He inspired generations of actors to take risks, on stage, on screen, and in life. Directors speak of his total commitment, his refusal to phone it in. Even after a stroke in 2012 limited his mobility, Curry returned to the spotlight, appearing at conventions and lending his voice to new projects. never losing his wit or warmth. Broadway, Hollywood, and the world of cult film all claim him as their own. But perhaps he belongs most to the misfits, the ones who learned from him that it's okay to be strange, loud, and unforgettable. Behind every legend, there are stories, moments that reveal the person behind the persona. Co-stars tell of Curry's wicked sense of humor. He would break the tension with a single eyebrow raise, remembers Leslie Ann Warren, his Clue co-star. Even the scariest scenes became fun with Tim nearby. Fans recall meeting Curry at conventions, where he greeted them with a smile or a sly joke. He never seemed annoyed by the endless stream of time-warp sing-alongs or Pennywise impressions. Instead, he delighted in the fandom, understanding what it meant to be adored for one's weirdness. Curry's own reflections on his fame were always tinged with self-mockery. "It's odd being remembered for a pair of fishnets," he once told a reporter, "but it's better than being forgotten." He embraced the odd and the marginalized, making them central, not secondary. He once said, "If you can make people laugh and shudder at the same time, you're doing something right." The world listened, and laughed and shuddered, right along with him. What does Tim Curry leave behind? The answer is everywhere. In memes, in midnight movie lines, in the way fans gather for Rocky Horror or post Pennywise gifs online. Critics have long called Curry a cult icon, but the truth is larger. He was a culture shaper, bending genres, blending high art with low camp and refusing to fit any mold. Expert voices have weighed in. "He made deviance not just acceptable, but desirable," wrote critic Emily Nussbaum. Curry's characters were always more than their costumes. Film scholar David Thompson called him the spirit of rebellion in a tuxedo and heels. His ability to cross from villain to hero, from comedy to horror, from stage to screen, gave his career a unique, unrepeatable arc. In the aftermath of his death, tributes have come from every corner. Lin-Manuel Miranda tweeted, "Tim Curry didn't just play roles, he liberated them." Fans across the world hosted impromptu dance parties and streaming marathons, celebrating the man who taught them to give yourself over to absolute pleasure. Curry's legacy is not just in the art he made, but in the freedom he inspired. For every strange kid who found courage in Frankenfurter's strut, for every adult who still laughs at Wadsworth's wild monologues, Tim Curry is eternal. So what was the secret of Tim Curry's enduring magic? The answer is not simple, nor should it be. He was a paradox, a showman who hid behind wild masks, a misfit who became the darling of the mainstream, a man who made us laugh, scream, and sing, sometimes all at once. His charm was born from risk, from a refusal to play it safe, from the courage to be wholly, gleefully himself. He spoke to the outsiders, but somehow welcomed everyone. His characters invited us to drop our masks, if only for a moment, and dance in the chaos. In a world obsessed with normalcy, Curry celebrated the extraordinary. That is why his loss feels so large, and why his presence still lingers. As the world mourns, one thing is certain. Tim Curry made us see ourselves differently. He made strangeness beautiful, danger delightful, and joy a little more subversive. The final curtain may have fallen, but his story, and his spell, endure. Let the last word be his. We're all just stories in the end. Make yours a good one. Tim Curry did. And we will never forget.